I might have to go in the car. Wait, hold on.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. I'm here live with Denise. Denise, say what's up.
Okay, I was just gonna ready to say we were off air, but I did see the live button just pop up. Google really like either stepping their game up or
they stepped it up. Everybody is. We are too. Seriously. Look here. What's going on, y'all? Preachers of LA, episode 8. This was called Hell and Back. And Denise, what'd you think of this episode?
You started off.
Man, this episode was good. It was good. I'm glad that boy, y'all having some fun over there. I can hear everything.
Yeah, my baby just came back with her dad from spring break, so this is like what you get. This is me being a mom, me trying to blog, me trying to live. Like this is what you get at 11 at night.
At 11 at night.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get this
hell and back.
Yeah. We saw this episode. You know, we weren't up on our Preachers of LA episode for obvious reasons. If y'all saw our other videos, you all know why. But now we're back together. And what did you think about this season, Preachers of Atlanta? As I told you before, Denise, this is the realest, group of preachers that I've seen through this franchise. I really was not, here for Preachers of Detroit too much. And Preachers of LA, it gave me something good, but this gave me a lot of substance that I really enjoyed. Preachers of Atlanta. And go ahead.
Do you think it became too much for TV?
It became not too much for TV because what we're seeing on reality TV now, I mean, it wasn't too much for TV. I think a lot of people, especially when you're dealing with religion, any types of religion, and people feel that you're not representing that religion in the correct way, especially with Christians. I mean, they have a strict way they want to be represented on television, in movies, in music, and when they see someone who is professing to be, or people who are professing to be Christians who are not representing them correctly, then you get a lot of, attacks, criticism, and backlash, like what we saw that happened to not only Leandria Johnson, but a lot of the other, Leandria Johnson, but a lot of the other preachers on Preachers of LA, Preachers of Detroit, and even Preachers of Atlanta.
But, okay, so what you said about, the Christians saying they're not represented well, do you think they're a monopoly? They own how you can act or how you're supposed to act on your own TV show? You know what I mean? Like,
well, you gotta understand, especially coming from a black, because these are black. Most of these preachers have been black preachers, with the exception of Preachers of LA, Pastor J.
And quick side note, I'm watching Whoever Goes Live on Sunday from home. That's how I'm going to church. Whoever goes live in their church. And that's what it's come to with.
So you're not going to church this evening?
No, I'm just gonna watch it via Facebook. Whoever goes live
on their church,
because this is what it really has become. Like everything is reality TV. Like everything, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it or whatever, but so. Like I said, it's not too much now. This is the norm. You have TD Jakes periscoping. You have, you know what I mean? Like everyone
but they gotta reach
taking advantage.
Yeah, but
everybody's taking advantage of what's out there now. So
exactly.
For people to say that things aren't the norm anymore, what is the norm?
But I think when you deal, like we saw a lot of the pastors, Pastor Bloomer talked with Leandria Johnson on this episode. And as you saw Leandria Johnson, her church is open to everybody. You saw everybody in there getting their shout on, which is good. But Leandria, I mean, I think she has been through so much that she wants to, and she has stayed transparent with a lot of her audience and with people. But I think with Christians, and me growing up in the Pentecostal Apostolic Church, which I'm really not a part of now, but I did grow up real holiness, there's a strict standard that a lot of them abide to, that if you're a part of this organization, you have to abide by. And that's no drinking, no smoking, no clubbing, no doing stuff that they think will take you out of the will of God or out of the fold of
God.
Right,
and then it's like, and not to deviate from the show or whatever, but even with your growing up in that church, how judgmental were they? How much of hurt
completely.
instead of help did it, you know what I mean, did it put on you?
I mean, it's like with anything, you learn to conform. You learn to conform to it. Of course, there was judgment. There was different types of things that went on that we were almost like, it wasn't as strict as Jim Jones type stuff. But some of that stuff can become very cultic. And depending on what church you go to, now people are a little more free and liberal. But back then, I mean, you got to understand the basis of the Black church is part of the civil rights movement. So, you know, that's a big part in a lot of people's life. And when you try to deviate from what they believe is correct based on how they interpret, you know, their interpretation of the Bible is, it can be really hell and back for some people, like this episode stated. I mean, to really deal with the dogmatic teachings and attitudes of some people in those religions.
And a lot of people are now starting to find their own spirituality or religion or whatever, or they're starting to think for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree. Like with me, I'm a part of the people hate when I say that. Yeah, I'm with New Thought. Just you know, we still believe in God and Jesus and all that kind of stuff, but it's a Bible-based church for thinkers. I mean, we don't do a lot of shouting and jumping around and running and stuff, but they really go over things.
Remember when you used to?
Look, ain't nothing wrong with shouting and jumping and speaking in tongues, you know, if that's what you want. But my thing is, it's just like, there's nothing wrong with loving God and being a Christian or whatever you want to be. But at the same time, you have to live your life. You got to be free. Don't be miserable. Don't be miserable down here.
And don't be playing. Don't be playing. Like, I done seen things, and of course it's TV or sometimes at a church, and you want to come and want to slap me on my head and want me to fall back, and then when I don't fall back, now you're mad at me. But I didn't feel it.
Oh God!
Wow. Now you want to get this devil out of me? No, it's not a devil in me. I just don't feel like falling back and hurting myself for no reason.
Wow.
So
okay. Nice and said. But on this episode, you know, they had the block party. We kind of all over with this episode, you know, trying to sum all the preachers of it. But the block party looked really good. Leandria Johnson came to the block party. I thought that was really good for her to come. Pastor.
It's like giving a human side to the church. You know what I mean? Or to ministry or to a preacher. It's like giving a human side.
But that's what I always said about the preachers of LA, preachers of Detroit and Atlanta, is that it gave a human side that we don't see from our pastors, because we think that they're all holier than thou. You know, it's like they're all, you can't be touched.
And I think if they become more transparent, a lot of stuff won't have to be done in the dark. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the things that go on behind closed doors wouldn't have to, because you'll be able to be human. You'll be able to live, and you know what I mean, and not be afraid. And I'm not saying go out there and just act a plumb fool, but when you release, you know, have some type of balance, you know, you're less susceptible to the other foolishness that you feel like you have to do on your own or in the dark, go to the strip club in Tampa and all this other stuff trying to get away.
Whoa, what you talking about? What you talking about? Who been talking to you?
I'm just saying.
Like the Tampa Knights. Hey, but you know, that is true. You know, they dealt with a lot of stuff, and Pastor Bloomer talked to Leandria Johnson, and he was telling her about her Periscope video. Now, you saw that Periscope video when she was drinking and cursing and stuff like that, and a lot of people were saying, you know, that's not a way for a Christian to act, which, you know, she was being a little too transparent right there for me to have a platform that she does.
There's still a line. I believe that there's still a line. If you chose that calling or the calling chose you, there's still there's still a line that you, like President Obama, you know, he's still human, but there's a certain oath or whatever you took that I can't act like this, you know?
Correct. Yeah. I totally agree with that, and I believe that for the people who were on that Periscope, some were kind of looking out, some were judging, because again, we came from this, you know, Pentecostal culture, apostolic. You know, we've heard a lot of stories about a lot of people that have just been told to us as just prayer requests.
And then
but
you
it
have
really
some
wasn't
that
fair
just
for
flat
us.
out want to judge people and use that as their reason to why they don't do this or they don't go to church because it's, so you just
Mm.
have people that just flat out want a reason to judge.
Yeah, you do. And you know, I really enjoyed the transparency from all of the preachers, from Canton Jones, the police pastor, Real Talk Kim, Pastor Judah coming out talking about how his dad being a gay pastor and how, you know, his family, his father even came out to the block party as well. And I think that that is going to do a lot for Christian people because people don't realize when you're up in front of the pulpit and you're preaching against people with homelessness, mental health, disabilities, people who used to prostitute, on drugs, who were gay, all this stuff. When you're preaching harshly about it and joking about it, you don't know people in your congregation have people in their families, or they may be going through that same stuff.
Right.
So you really need to have to watch how you deal with stuff.
Right. And there is power in the tongue. And if you have the platform, you know, you need to be mindful of what you say and how you say it to people because
Mm-hmm.
even though you don't want to be considered, oh, I'm not God, I'm not this, I'm that. Some people might look at you not as God, but the
Yeah,
closest thing to it. So they
yeah,
take your word for what it is. So whatever you do, whatever purpose you're there to serve, make sure it's a positive one.
yeah. I agree with that. And you know, a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people do not like the preachers of franchises all over. They don't think it represents God, and these people are, you know, doing all this kind of stuff. And you know, there are a lot of popular pastors who have come out and spoken out against it and stuff like that. But
But let
shout
them
out to
get a
Holly
deal.
Cotter.
Let them get a deal. Let them get a deal
Well,
with
Pastor
all them
Donnie has
zeros
said,
behind it.
hey,
Child, please.
but Pastor Donnie, you know, I always got to go with Donnie. Because he has been the most vocal one, him
He just want
and
to
the
show.
prophet. He want to show. Let me shut up.
I bet you he won't turn it out. Let him be enough zeros behind it or enough.
Yeah.
You see that zero?
But you know, I would want, you know what, for him, I want to show because he's always talking about how he was freed from, you know, being this and being that. And all of these people who've been so freed, I want to show that really follows him 24 hours to see if they really living like they said they live. Because it's one thing to preach, one thing to, like the pastor who talked to Leandria Johnson, Pastor Bloomer, Bishop Bloomer was saying how he used to shoot up in his toe before he used to go preach to other people. And, you know, I had heard him talk about that before. So it's like, we really don't know. And there are pastors that I've known when I was younger who some of them have died from, you know, different kind of, you know, things they used to do that the church didn't know about. So, I mean,
or some that lived and still haven't told you what they've done and maybe, you know, prayed their way through it, whatever they, you know, want to say. But again, that goes back to you speak in front of these thousands of people or hundreds of people, and you just left a demon in your room.
Exactly. And I agree with that because remember the prophetess we talked about who said that she was with men and with women, but while she was preaching, she never preached about being with women. So it was like, so you beat all these people down, and then years later when you get a book deal, you want to tell everybody.
Right, and want to tell again the amount of zeros that come behind it. Then you want to tell it. So you don't want to tell it to save my soul. You want to tell it to save your foreclosure. That's when you tell it. And and I have a problem sometimes with that, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Man. But I mean,
I didn't see preachers, you know, from far away, none local, but preachers from far away that would sleep with prostitutes, whether they're men or women. And like you said again, come and preach the word or come and try to tell me what I'm doing wrong and trying to send me to hell.
But I mean, in the case of Leandria Johnson, if you're anointed and you're talented at something, a lot of people, they can get away with talent, you know, and not really be, because there are people who, they won't be as outgoing or have the talent, you know, like any of those pastors there to be on television or like the big time pastors, but they're true people. They love people. They really love God. They're there to help people. And those people may never get any shine. People may never know their name. You know, and the whole thing with the church is like, well, at least God knows your name. That's all it is. But like you said, there are some people who can be swindled to do certain things as long as those zeros are in the back. You know, that, hey, I can do this, I can do this. You know, my family can move over to Potomac, you know, something like that, you know, move to the nice part of Atlanta or something.
Yep,
So
and then that's when I'll tell it all. That's when I'll say, "Oh, this is a great show. Oh, this is child, please."
exactly.
I bet you in the near future we will see Donnie on Preachers of Something.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has the gospel show, and him and some other pastors are doing some other stuff too. I know Bishop
So,
Jakes, he does television and also movies, and he's definitely, to me, I look as a pastor that's a role model of wanting to be an entrepreneur in entertainment and also doing something you love, which is preaching, because he loves preaching, but this is something that he always wanted to do as well. And I think a lot of times in Christianity or with certain, religions, they think that, it's like if you're a pastor or an evangelist or something like this, that's all you can do. You can't go and be a football player. You can't own a car lot.
right.
I mean, we're seeing a lot more of that breaking now, but back in the day, a lot of people missed out on their true dreams and hopes because they thought.
And like you said, when you're anointed, ain't nothing you can do about it. Like even today, I went to go get my hair cut or whatever, and I sat in the chair. So then it was a new barber. I never been to him before. And he was like, I don't even know what to charge you because it seems to me like this was therapy for you to sit in my chair for me to be able to talk to you
my God.
openly. You know what I mean? Like you can't run from your calling. You can't run from your.
So what's your therapist?
No, it's. I'm just telling you. You cannot run from your calling. And this is what we do. We have a talk. He don't even know we have a talk show. But he felt like it was therapy. He was able to open up and tell me things that he said he wasn't able to talk about in months.
Yeah. So did you have to pay for it? Did you have to pay for it?
Yeah, but I didn't pay much.
Okay. Well, look, that's what these shows like this will do. Shout out to Holly Carter. Everybody who watched Preachers of Atlanta, and I think Preachers of LA is coming back up next.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. That was our baby.
Yeah, I miss
Love.
Yeah, that's Loretta, man. I miss Miss Loretta, man. I go to her restaurant when I go back to LA. Yeah, I miss. And my bishop just turned. Shout out to Bishop Noel Jones. He just turned 66. Yeah.
You still claiming him?
That is my bishop. I don't agree with everything he say, but that's my bishop, man. That's my bishop, seriously. And when I go to LA, I always step into City of Refuge. But I think I'm going to start going to one church. That's Pastor Jake's daughter's husband's church, Pastor Robert Torre. I might go there. That's more of a youthful church and for artists. So I look at them online too. So, shout out to all y'all. If y'all are in good churches and you love your pastors and all that stuff, shout them out. Let them know that. Every pastor that was represented on these shows is not every pastor. We know that. There are some.
That's why they have some. It's a variety. That's why there's a variety. So
exactly. There's a variety, and I just be good to people. Be good to people. Stick to your truth, whatever that is, and be true to yourself. And love God. Exactly.
The golden rule. So.
Be true to yourself. And happy Easter. This is Easter. Remember, if Jesus got up, you can get up. Resurrection power.
Hey, did you see the video of the man that said he gonna go in the coffin? The pastor said he's gonna go in the coffin for 3 days and see what happened and see if he could come out. People like this going to scream.
He gonna go in for 3 days?
For 3 days. If he rose.
Yeah. Then we're gonna say, I will rise again. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Don't try nothing silly, y'all. Just enjoy your Easter and know that if Jesus got up, you can get up, and there's resurrection power that's available to all of us.
If you're gonna get in that coffin, you better make sure you got some breathing holes in it or something.
They're gonna have a tube or something like that.
Yeah, because it ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work. Not at all. Now that's taking it too far. People who do that, you get out of their churches. If he's a pastor. All right. Join us in like 2 minutes as we talk about the new Nina Simone movie, whatever. So we'll be back in shortly. All right. Peace.